Boom, we're back, and today we have yes gi instead of no gi, and we have Tony, the UFC fighter and black belt on the left, and Gabe, the purple belt on the right. Gabe just went with basalt spin yesterday, but before we get too far in the video, remember you can get some awesome gear from xmartial.com. Make sure to check out my link in the description. They have some wonderful holiday sales that you can take advantage of right now. Now, Gabe is looking to work on top of Tony because he wants to establish the same control he had on Ben. But Tony's no slouch. He's going to hit Gabe quickly with this nice collar drag. We can see here he pulls the collar out, he moves his legs just a little bit, and he sweeps Gabe over very easily. I sense a pattern with Gabe at the beginning of rounds where Ben tapped him super early, and now Tony has swept him super early. You gotta take advantage of beating up Gabe early. Now Gabe is using a modified 7 guard because he's trying to go towards the crab ride. Tony counters it smartly, however. He gets his butt to the mat immediately. By getting his butt to the mat, he can quick switch his hips, and now he can work on top of Gabe once again. Now Tony is a very long individual, at least compared to the guys that he likes to roll with, because he likes to beat up on the lower belts. So he can pressure this guard in a very unique way. He can plant on the mat and put a lot of pressure on your butterfly hooks, while at the same time, he's not in any danger because you aren't able to establish any attacks on him. This is great for MMA and also against other guys that want to go for a lot of arm drags or other types of sweeps. Now, Tony's getting his hip to the mat because he wants to start to pass. He had to crush Gabe's left leg first, and then he can start to work out towards the side. Now Tony can apply more pressure on the hips with his shoulders and his head, and he can use his legs to sprawl out. Once he can sprawl out, he can step around the guard very simply and pass Gabe's guard to get into the side control position. However, he had to make sure that he had good pressure on Gabe's hips. Now Tony decides he's going to go into reverse ride as soon as he passes this guard. And reverse ride is great so you can adjust their spine as if you were their personal masseuse, but it's not the best if you want to go for attacks because you're limited to the legs. So Tony now switches into the regular side control and he's attacking the head immediately. He's looking for a Darce, but he's only going to hit that for a slight second here before he decides he wants to attack the collar. We saw yesterday that Gabe attacked the collar on Ben so viciously. He was able to control him with any control that he wanted, and Tony's looking to do the same thing to Saint Gabriel. Now, if you're wondering why Gabe isn't moving that much, this round took place immediately after his roll with Ben, and Ben completely smashed Gabe. So we don't see too much effort from Gabe on the bottom here. He's just trying to survive. Tony does latch up a nice Kimura, and he's looking for control over the arm, but he's not going to hit a Kimura right now. Instead, he's going to transition to the wrist ride. He uses this wrist ride so he can go right into the clock choke. The clock choke is when you can pull the gi out and you try and run a circle in front of their head, similar to a bulldog choke if you didn't have the gi to help you out. Now, this is going to take a while for this choke to work, so let's get into my question of the day. How would you roll with Tony? He has competed with people like Damian Maia, so he's no slouch to roll with. I want to know in the comments what you would do. He might be even easier than Ben, however. Now, Tony was not able to get this clock choke, so he readjusts and he moves out to the side on Gabe just to continue controlling him and smashing him with his immense weight. From here, he's looking to set up another Kimura. He's latching onto the Kimura here, and he's going to roll over Gabe to set up his own attack. He really thinks that he's Brock Larson doing all these fancy Kimura techniques, but he would never be as good as that man at jiu-jitsu. Now, once he has this Kimura, he's going to start to sit up. Once he can sit up, he has much better leverage on this Kimura, and he can look for the finish. He just has to pop the arm out, twist it to the side, and he gets the quick tap. That was a quick release from Tony because he knew he had it. Now quick, look in the background. We see in the blue gi is the master basalt spin. His next round, he actually rolled with this same black belt Tony. Ben and Tony is an awesome roll that I can't wait to record and upload. I'll do it next week for my Christmas gift to all of you. Also in the background, we can see your favorite black belt, not Tony, me rolling with a white belt. His name is Xavier. Clearly that round is not recorded because they're recording this one, but I just want to let you guys know that I've been using my left arm, so you're going to be able to see a lot more guillotines from me because I just love throwing them on people. Now your favorite hood rat Tony is starting in sitting up guard. Sitting up guard is great because you're able to monitor your opponent, and then he's going to hit Gabe with this wonderful move of the day known as the arm drag. Just before this, Tony was showing us how he gets all these arm drags he does to top tier opponents. When I say top tier, I mean the people he trained with when he's in the UFC. He's training down in Florida with the real killers, and he hits this arm drag on everyone. He even stuffed the arm, so now Gabe's arm is stuck with the leg. This allows Tony to control the arm with his leg as he takes the back. That can be a great setup for a choke, but instead, Tony's deciding to push him over to get on top of Gabe and start giving him some of that manly pressure. I think Ben took Gabe's soul because Gabe has not done anything in this role that's been helping out too much. Yes, it might be because he's rolling with a black belt and that part sucks, and Tony's even working his gi out of him so he can control him, However, it takes a lot of energy to try and do an exorcism on Bath Salt's Ben. I think he took his soul and he's living rent-free in Gabe's head. Gabe will never forget that Kimura that happened to him. Tony uses Gabe's gi against him to have complete control over him, and then he quickly passes the guard by throwing his leg out. Gabe thankfully is able to get his arm inside. As his arms come inside, he's able to free himself from that lapel control because that lapel was stopping Gabe from doing anything. It's really hard to move if they can control your lapel on the far side and the near side with one arm. Now, Tony's working up, and this allows Gabe to shrimp out. As soon as Gabe shrimps out, he's going to work towards the shin guard position. Once he can move in on Tony, he grabs the leg and he uses his shins to elevate Tony, looking for his own sweep. Tony knows what's happening. Clearly, he stops us in his tracks. He gets the arm between the legs, and he's going to use this to stop the sweep attempt, and then he's just going to kick over to get a free pass. He's working Gabe easily, and he's working towards the north-south choke as well. Now, I think the north-south choke is a very cool and stylish submission, but I think it's difficult to do in the gi. There's a lot of gi material that gets in the way, and it's easy for the opponent to hang on so you can't bring your legs back far enough to compress the neck. Tony must feel similar to this because he's going for a nasty neck crank. He throws the leg over the leg so he can start adjusting towards his neck crank. Thank God he switches off of that because I can see Gabe would already have a meltdown if that ever happened to him. And instead, Tony's going to throw him into another Kimura. I would much rather get tapped by this Kimura than the neck crank, but let's see that again. Tony sits over the head. He already has the Kimura lock. He pulls it out, gets one tap, pulls it to the side, then goes to a wrist lock, gets another tap just to disrespect Gabe, and then finishes it off with a nice spanking on the butt. Tony has tapped Gabe twice, and here's a secret. In the role that he has with Ben, he couldn't even do that to Ben. Ben got justice for Gabe in that role by not getting tapped twice by Tony. Now, Tony's hitting another wonderful arm drag. He uses this arm drag, however, to instead sit on top of Gabe because Gabe did not respond in the correct way to reestablish his own base. Since his base was compromised, Tony came on top, hit a super easy side control pass, and is showing St. Gabriel that he should probably just stick to the church because jiu-jitsu is not working for him. We are nearing the end of the video, and Tony's just going to do a few more things to show off his technique and talent. He's going to take the easiest mount of his life as the cam girl moves around trying to get the best angle, but really the round is coming to an end. From here, Gabe is trying to survive and not get submitted one more time, and Tony just wants to put some extra weight on Gabe, so he feels like he has to move a little bit more to finish this round. The last thing Tony's going to do in this roll before I have to call it is he's going to hit the ugliest triangle I've ever seen. He tries to go over the shoulder and then just falls into side control. Gabe fought it a little bit so he couldn't get another easy submission, but it was pretty ugly. This brings us to the end of the video. If you want some awesome gear for the holiday sales, make sure to check out X Marshall. You can check out my link in the description to get yourself a discount, and I get a small part as well. Also, thank you all my current viewers and patrons. I appreciate everybody that watched the video, and I'll have an awesome video coming out this Sunday.